Hey, hi, hello. Okay, I'm trying to decide if this lighting is probably too bad to leave like this. Let's see. If this is much better. Yeah, much better. Okay, hi, welcome back to A Mile a Minute. We're watching Gilmore Girls Season 1, Episode 2, The Lorelai's First Day at Chilton, which I have to tell you guys is, I think, like one of the cringiest episodes of this show. And probably one of my least favorite in season 1. Not to say that I'm a hater, like there's so many iconic moments during it, but just the cringe factor kills me a little bit. So yeah, I'm here with my dinner. I've got some pesto pasta, some Doritos as a snack, and a whiskey drink. And I'm gonna watch, season 1, episode 2. And comment along for you guys. Look how far I ended up getting in my basket that I was working on. And now I'm like out of, I'm like at the end of both of the things. So that's got to be on hold for a while. So I don't think I'm going to have a craft for this one. I might get something if I absolutely cannot deal with not having something to do with my hands, which I'm feeling like maybe I should have a plan for that, but I don't. So yeah, gonna play the episode. Reminder to go ahead and get it queued up to like 00.00, and we're gonna play in 3, 2, 1, play. This is a cute moment. Also, the foot is just out on the town. Are they not allowed to paint their fingernails? Is that why she doesn't paint her fingernails? Oh, Lane. I freaking love Lane. I love Lane and Lorelai's relationship. They're just dancing. That's cute. That's a cute intro. This show, I love that it just kind of like low-key has no purpose. There are some story arcs, obviously, like it's just a drama. There's not a lot of, and it's a comedy, but it's not like a laugh out loud comedy. And it's just like there's not a lot of other shows like it. Like I'm trying to think, because I think you could categorize it with like The Office, but like those all have the interview element too, like The Office and Parks and Rec, and then like Community. But obviously that one's really funny. They're all also funny, more specifically funny. And then you could think of like family things. Like Seventh Heaven comes to mind because I feel like it was the same era, and like Boy Meets World. But there's no, like this one has no laugh track, which is good. And like really like nothing happens. Like that whole opening scene, nothing happened. Oh my god, this episode. This gives me so much anxiety. Like this whole first part of her getting ready, this is so much anxiety. It's honestly kind of wild that Rory didn't like make sure she was awake with what she knows about her mother. It's wild that they have this moment of like her having nothing in her closet. Her like even any of those things that you see would probably be better than what she ends up putting on. But then also in the same season, we have the rummage sale episode where her closet is like overflowing with stuff. So how much did she take to the dry cleaner? And also this outfit, like, I can't believe this is what she decides. Like, she should have just worn jeans. Even if she had worn jeans, it still would have been like a questionable outfit, honestly. And I know her mom would have questioned her on it, but at least it would have been like acceptable. Just wear jeans. She doesn't have one. She's getting her jeans dry cleaned. I don't know. I said that I wasn't a hater on this episode, but I am kind of a hater. But the outfit is iconic, and she looks hot. Like, she looks so hot. And I do also think that, oh, Stephen Lane there. I do also think this episode shows how good Lauren Graham is at this role because she makes it work. Like, she doesn't ever feel embarrassed. You don't ever really feel like it is cringy and like embarrassing, and she does feel embarrassed, but she plays it off really well. And like, I don't know. It's just so interesting. But I guess she thinks that she's not going to have to go in. So she just like puts something on. She puts the first thing on. Okay. I always forget that. I always forget that part when she's in the morning, like, whatever, having anxiety about it.
Look at me. I can't beat anybody who does anything in there. No, I look like that chick from the Dukes of Hazzard. This is my first day. You are not getting asked again, period.
I would not make my mother, I would not want my mother to go in there with that if I knew it was going to embarrass me like that. Not to be so harsh, but I don't know.
Looking for the headmaster's office, Amber's building.
Okay, well, this is it right here. Go inside, downstairs, take a left, and see the headmaster's office.
Great, thank you.
I need to check.
This guy is so hot.
Hi, I'm Lorelai Gilmore.
I can't believe she doesn't go out with him. Spoilers.
So it's your husband.
I'm not married. I'd love to be your wife, though. I really got it right.
Yeah, I like how they're like, we're going to be late.
Where do you work?
At an inn, the independent inn. I run it. It is what happens.
See, she like pokes fun at herself. How come I never see Julia? We should have seen Julia. Rory is so funny sometimes. I actually love how she like talks to Lorelai sometimes. Because Lorelai is a little bit like, I'm totally a Lorelai girl, but she is a little bit like self-centered sometimes. The girly pops. I've seen this so many times that I'm like already playing the jokes in my head. The way she jumps. going to see the headmaster on her first day, I mean, I guess a student like transferring in, you're probably going to do that. I never changed schools in my whole life besides like to junior high and high school.
Just get along. I did that's the job.
Lord, it was wonderful and I did before. Fantastic. Well, they got here. Well, it gave me a chance to make sure that Hanlon could get good care of her.
Hanlon.
And job.
Hanlon's quiet side.
I would be so mad if I was Lorelai.
All right. Finding it out. See what it was.
Like, what the heck?
We're all old friends. Especially if they're old.
Especially if they're old.
Well, would you like to take off the cook? Well, you know, I'm fine. I'm pretty big.
It's honestly wild that they don't just let her sit down with their coat on. Oh my god! Emily's face. I love it. Like a Honda. Killer. Emily's so ruthless. Emily and Rory both. I like that she also says in the last episode that she offered to do the principal. So she offered to do him, and then she shows up in that outfit. He must be like, what the fuck? Honestly, he kind of looked like he was contemplating it. He was like, yeah, okay. She really did not do any extracurriculars besides like the town.
What are your aspirations?
Christian Amanpour is like a person that I know nothing about. Like I know the very basics, but it is interesting that she says Christian Amanpour because she's so known for being in front of the camera, and it's like, did Rory have aspirations of her being on camera?
I know your grandmother. I know. In fact, I had a party in their house just last week where I had a bunch of
Lobster Puff sounds fire.
If you make it to the finest education one can get,
Yeah.
This James.
So was that the bell? First bell? Aha, the girlies. Okay, so it must have just been the first bell? Her hair. I love how her hair is like a little fucked up. I'm trying to remember what they're like. I remember one of their names is Madeline. What's the other one's name? Louise? Yeah, okay. Madeline has dark hair. I just like think of them as a pair. I swear I've seen this show so many times, but sometimes your mind is blank something. I need coffee and an IV. It's a good joke. If Luke is even giving you a hard time. Like everybody knows. It's interesting how they, in this season, they act like, sorry, this is a little bit past tense, but Luke, they act a little bit in this first season like Lorelai and Luke weren't friends when when Rory was growing up and everything. But then, and I mean, maybe it's that they found each other in the last 10 years or whatever. So it's like the first 10 years of her life, she was out of it because she doesn't even know Rachel. But then later on in the series, he talks a lot about, like, especially when she's like the stuff with Christopher and Luke and whatever in like the 5th season. And he's like, I was there for Rory. Like, I did all this stuff. I made her food when she was sick and saw her learn how to ride a bike and all this stuff. I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting thing. I feel like they started it thinking that Luke wasn't going to be that big of a deal. And then it just he became way big of a deal. I feel like she should just let Emily buy this shit for her, but I guess maybe it's like comes with strings that I don't know anything about because I don't have people like that in my life. Ball sack. Yeah. Hey, Tristan in the house. I got Dorito fingers. Man, that looks nasty. I gotta rinse this off. I'm not gonna pause it. Paris.
You can call me Rory. Are you going out with Franklin? For what? Nice Cincinnati.
Oh my god.
If Franklin is in the paper, are you going out for it? I don't know. I have to find my locker. I'm going to be editor next year. Good for you. I'm also the top of the class, and I intend to be valedictorian when I graduate.
None of those things. Well, she stays top of the class, but she is a valedictorian. I have my Buffy the Vampire Slayer shirt on. I can't remember if I wore this last time too.
Great. Now, be sure to check them all. That's it. Give every last one of them a nice good squeeze. You wouldn't want to actually leave me one that I could sell somebody.
Those are pretty big peaches for her to be saying they're small.
Now, I'm not going to tell you which one it is.
This little.
You're impeccably good grader. There it is. You got it.
She really is like touching all over those peaches.
Yes. This is how it's supposed to work. Oh my god. It was very
What time does she get to work? She must work the afternoon shift.
Everybody cared. Oh, your mom, the headmaster, my mom, Luke, Miss Patty, new fire chief, tiny little head.
I love that.
Oh, man, you planned this.
Oh, yeah. I walked into the headmaster's office. There she was. Because she knew I would wake up late and dress up as a cowgirl and humiliate myself. Well, she's good.
At least she's self-aware. Ugh, that floor. There's no way. Like, you cannot.
Oh, because of the extra water. Perfect sense.
I would ignore this.
Like, what time is it? Is it early afternoon? So it's like past the lunch rush. So Suki's not needed. And like this kitchen having at least 3 other people and Suki. So that's 4 people there, just like in the middle of the day. For how small that kitchen is and how small their dining room must be. Like, that's more people than we used to have in the kitchen. We used to have 3, sometimes 4 people at like a restaurant that's seated, 100 plus. Maybe their dining room seats 100.
Okay, I'm back. I want to know that that popcorn is
What our parking space.
That's all hers. Now, we're going to have a car. Separate. They don't have to. Okay, hold on. Drella, please, a little softer. Remember that Panasonic stamp in my ass? Mom, you're not buying her a car. Why not? She's a smart girl. She's responsible. She doesn't need one. She needs to have a way to get around. To get to school. I know, I hate to take the bus. Drug dealers take the bus. You know what, Mom, I gotta go.
Drug dealers take the bus.
Just a little late. Okay, bye.
Yes, you.
My name is Rory.
The whole Mary thing is so silly.
So you knew?
Yeah, there's him.
Well, Remy's class is rough.
Yeah, it seemed very intense.
I could run you my notes if that would help.
Really? That'd be great.
How great.
He's such a fucking schmoozer.
Mr. Remy said like getting someone's notes would be.
Look at him.
Study.
I kind of used to studying in solitary. But thanks.
Sorry. Yeah, it's like, bro, if you're gonna hit on her, at least get her name right. Like, it's like not a funny. I guess maybe some girls are into it, but
I just backed the car up and
I love this guy's jacket.
before I parked it or not.
It's so cool with the like 2 layers.
I'm sure we can find a way to resolve this.
That's like, I feel like that's in style right now for like a certain demographic, but it's cool. So who does she go and tell? Like, honestly, this is good management. She's just getting hit on by old men and young men. I definitely thought my adult life was going to be more full of flirty encounters like Lorelai has. I mean, I have a long-term boyfriend, so obviously he flirts with me. But she gets hit on so much. Like, would honestly be annoying to get hit on that much. I mean, I guess it's good that she didn't like. Like, this dad is probably hardly. I mean, maybe he was at Chilton, so maybe he is invested, but like, they could just go on one date. I just think he's hot. Oh, he said he's gonna try again, and he must not. He must not hit her up on the way, but like once he gets back. Because I feel like if he had, she would have been like, okay. But he was like, oh no. I mean, I went out to the Independence Inn.
Can't be that bad.
This is like the moments where it's like Drella is not it. They already know what she's about to do because I've seen this show so many times. And I mean, everybody should be able to go to lunch when they want and do what they want. It just feels like when you're working for tips, it's like you got a whole captive audience there that you're now like not. I mean, hopefully she's being paid a good wage, but you would think that she would rely somewhat on tips. This is a horrible little moment here. Oof. Oh. That is harsh. Like, imagine being Paris in this situation too, of like the new girl. And they're just in all the same classes. It's horrible. Why did she just sit down right next to him? Did she just leave her broken project in the hallway? I like how the teachers did not take attendance. Yeah, she should have brought in her busted ass project. She's so rude. Like she's so mad. She's so mean, which is like fair. They're just all in the same classes. Like that's so high school. Oh, I just forget. Stars Hollow population 9,973. I feel like that could be a trivia question. Look at her cigarettes. Mm-mm. love this lipstick that she's wearing. Like it's so perfect. Such a perfect color. The way that the like filming is with whatever like kind of filter that they put over it or whatever the camera is, it aged pretty well. It gives nostalgic like early 2000s, but at the same time, it's like it looks good. They look good still. Sometimes the blush is a little bit much. That's so
Hi, my
fun.
man. Okay. No, no, I'll be right there. Thanks. I have to go.
How often does she pay for coffee? I feel like that'd be a fun thing to make note of. So she doesn't pay for it then. She paid for it in the morning. There's got to be a certain point where he's just like not charging her the whatever. This is funny because we meet Kirk for the first time, but he is not named Kirk.
I'm gonna go take care of this. Thanks.
DSL. It's crazy.
I'm supposed to install it. Yes. Well, I can afford it. Thank you. Not that.
Hi, Mick. Nice to meet you.
If it does by now, concerts.
Well, look,
It's funny that they say his name so many times. Like, they did not need to say his name that many times. Oh, he's so young. I watch, it's Sean Gunn, right? So I see him in the Marvel stuff too. Like, he's in Guardians of the Galaxy. And he's just so much older. Oh, look at her cursive. Just crumples it up and throws it on the ground.
and what year is what was presented? What's your next time?
She says, ha ha ha. Also crazy that she remembered that so much. She's like, you already are. So why would I? She just goes to her mom's salon. This is like this was smart. She like really went in on this. Like with what we know about them later.
No cars, no parking spaces, and all the uniforms will be supplied by me, the mother. That's final. There will be no discussion. You're being stubborn as usual. No, Mom, I'm not being stubborn as usual. I'm being me. The same person who always needed to work out her own problems and take care of
Because she would have just kept going and going and going, and like everything that they would have accepted from her, she would have thrown it back in their face. Like I know people like that, and it is a hard thing. You got to set boundaries.
And I decide how we live, not you. Now then. You think I'm gonna be working here?
See, that's like that little joke of like just the situation and everything. Like it's so funny, and like and also for the relationship between like mothers and daughters, and it's just and family. It's just funny. Oh, she's so happy to see her. So it's like then she goes and picks her up at like what 3 o'clock. How long was she at work? I guess maybe she went to Luke's. Well, she ended up dressed back at the inn and like ready. So she went to Luke's with coffee, and then what didn't have the outfit on. So she must have gone home, changed. She was there at like 10 o'clock at Luke's. She says that it's only 10 o'clock. And so then maybe she's at the inn by 11. So then she's there for a couple of hours. But then the DSL person, like, is this a work day for her? I guess it's good that they, people can cover her and stuff. And maybe she goes back in the evening. This is just like the middle of her day. Yeah, poor Lane. I'm glad they stay friends. Like, they do stay pretty good friends. I mean, they stay best friends. They also say this and then, like, they never show them, like, shopping or anything. There's a bug in here. Can I have your crust? I love that like they're friends enough to be able to ask each other for their crust. It's cute. She's like picking at that food. They always talk about how in Gilmore Girls they like eat so much or whatever, but we actually don't really see them take a lot of bites of food. We just see food around a lot. Her little one strand of like braided hair, or like not braided, but pulled back hair is so of that era. Look at that guy in the back buying all those flowers at the evening time. Why is the flower shop open so late? This is a funny conversation for them to have in the second episode of the series. Like, that's such a harsh thing to say to your mom. Oh, he sees them. Like, Williams Hardware. There's all these trees with these lights, and his little shop has so many lights on it. It's like so cute, but imagine him and his little ladder doing that. Okay, I might need to watch another episode, but I'm going to stop the live and then start another one. So it's the next episode in the series. Oh God, gotta go like that. 0. Okay. All right. This is the end of this episode. Lovely to see you if you're here. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.